you're gonna bang a dragon. Like, disappointment reigns supreme. Why did you take all that time dicking around? What? I don't understand. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about a couple of books that I DNF'd that were NetGalley e-arcs. Whoopsie daisy. And one of these I was highly anticipating, and the other one I was kind of like, maybe this won't be for me, and apparently I was right. But this first one I was definitely highly anticipating, and also it is one of the Goldsboro books. I think it was like this month. I think it comes out this month. Yeah, oh, it's out now. So yeah, it's the book for this month, and I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful, from Goldsboro, but I didn't like it. And the book in question is Dragonfall by LR Lam, or Laura Lam. First book in a new series. I read 58% of this. The quick little synopsis of this is: long banished dragons, revered as gods, return to the mortal realm in the first of this magical new epic fantasy trilogy. So yeah, it's a world where there are humans on this one realm, and there are kind of like veils between the realms, and long time ago, dragons lived there with the humans, but then something happened and the humans somehow banished the dragons from this land, and they went to another realm between the veil, and now they are slowly like starving to death and dying out, basically, and they need this prophecy to happen with the single male dragon that they have. Like, they hardly ever have male dragons, but there is one, and there's a prophecy about him saving them all, basically. And in the very like first chapter, he like finds this prophecy and just immediately is like, let me go do the thing then, and goes through the veil when like the veil is like weaker at this particular time, and meets a human woman, and things go from there. Initially, I was feeling it. I was into it. I remember messaging, I think, Roger and Elle, being like, I'm liking this. I was really digging the tone and the world building and the writing too. I was enjoying the writing. But I started to kind of get annoyed a little early on with the main characters, particularly the dragon, Erevan? It's either Erevan or Everin. I cannot recall. But it's like his plan in general, I was just like, what is your plan? Like, it was like literally, I found this prophecy randomly. Oh, today's the day that's on the prophecy. Oh, I'm gonna do it. But then like gets there and is like pissed at this human for him being there, because then he's stuck there. And the dragons, when they have like a preterite form, they call it, that's like human-like, but it's not totally, they don't totally look like humans when they're in their preterite form. It more just like makes them bipedal and gives them like opposable thumbs to be able to write and stuff, I think. And I think it makes them look more human-ish, but they still need to use magic to put up a full illusion to look fully human. So that's the case. He's in the human realm now, and he is using this like illusion magic to actually look human. But yeah, then his sister like tells him to find the human that he initially met, and he just like dilly-dallies around for like a week. And I don't, like, he's just working on the docks, kicking it, getting to know people. But then later being like so hurried and like, oh my God, I gotta do the thing. And I'm like, why did you take all that time dicking around? What? I don't understand. And then like he followed this prophecy randomly, but then is all pissed that he's here and he's stuck, and he's like, oh. And then he's mad that like he has to befriend this human and like get her to trust him in order to like fucking get back or whatever, and he's all mad at her about it. I'm like, dude, you came here on I was like, okay, whatever. And yeah, at 58%, I just kind of wasn't caring that much. The plot just felt pretty meandering, I guess. I just wasn't connected to the characters at all. And then also there started to be kind of like romance inklings. And the human girl obviously just thinks this is a human guy, but the dragon, like, he knows he's a dragon and that she's a human, but they're like both start feeling attraction to each other. And like, I've learned from my explorations in fantasy romance that I can handle like shifter romance, like a werewolf type of thing where you are a beast, an animal at times, but then you shift into fully human. And like, I'm sure there's, you know, darker taboo stuff out there with the I don't know, bestiality type shit, I guess, of like having sex while they're in their werewolf form. But I've never read that. Every like werewolf type or shifter romance I've ever read is like they only are intimate with each other when they're in human form, when they're fully human. But then there's monster romance where it's like you're always a monster, whatever that monster is, and then you're having sex with like a human. And that I can't like get past it, basically. And this was just giving me those vibes of like, you're gonna bang a dragon. Like, no shade to anyone who like can read those and enjoy that type of thing, but I've learned that it's not for me. So I was like, I'm out. I don't care. So that's kind of a bummer, but what are you gonna do? The other one I picked up that I wasn't really sure about because sci-fi, but it's The Surviving Sky by Kritika H Rao, and I think it's a debut book. I'm pretty sure. It says, this Hindu philosophy-inspired debut, science fantasy follows a husband and wife racing to save their living city and their troubled marriage high above a jungle world besieged by cataclysmic storms. Sounded fucking cool, right? And the cover is so pretty. Oh my god. But it just, was not for me. Pretty much immediately, both of the main characters were kind of annoying. Like, she's a 35-year-old person. Aliyah is her name. And she just was really petulant and, like, annoyingly stubborn. Like a kid would be. Like, just stubborn for the sake of being stubborn. I was like, all right, whatever. And then the husband, Irvan, was also kind of annoying and just ridiculously stubborn and hurtful to each other. But, like, you're married and, like, not speaking to each other for 7 months. And just, I don't know, that kind of lack of communication also, is not my jam. I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around the concept of not speaking to your partner for a day, much less 7 months. Like, what? No. I don't get it. And, like, I'm not saying I think it was bad or anything like that. I'm sure a lot of people are going to enjoy this and could enjoy the complications or the complexity of that plot line of, like, this married couple not speaking to each other and, like, trying to come back together and, like, work through their problems and, I don't know, work past their own flaws and each other's flaws. But, again, the lack of communication thing, being kind of mean-spirited to each other, I just am like, I don't want to root for you guys. Like, you should probably get divorced, it sounds like. I don't understand this. And then also science fiction, tends to not always be my jam. And there's this whole thing with their magic and being architects that can, like, make stuff grow or not and, like, elevate these cities and do all and protect the city with vines. But then it's like the science behind it is being explained of, like, dust motes. And then they have to have material bonds and, like, finding dust motes and following the dust mote in the other realm that you're in as an architect to follow it to find the constellation linking it to the other dust. And I'm like, what in the fuck? My brain just... And I probably don't need to follow it as much as I try to. I've talked about this before. It's like, why am I able to follow fantasy where it's like magic, blah, here, you fucking move your hands around and you say these words and you do the shit or whatever, versus science fiction. And I feel like it's just because science fiction, it feels more like real or based on real things and real science in our world that it makes me feel like I need to understand it. Like I should try, right? I should understand this. Or I should try to understand this. Versus magic and fantasy, I'm like, it's fucking magic. It's not real. I don't care if I understand it. And I need to get past that and try to just ignore that. And I was trying with this. I think had it not been for the characters grating on my nerves, I probably would have just kind of, Shoshana, we don't need to understand this dust mote constellation shit. Just move on. I would have done that, but it just combined with the other stuff. So I only got 16% into this one before I said, I don't care. I'm out. So yeah, bummer. Bringing my NetGalley percentage, my ratio down for sure. It was up at like 72% or something, or maybe even 75%, and now it's at like 67% or some shit. So, whoops. I am reading another NetGalley e-arc right now, though, that I am enjoying currently and don't anticipate DNFing. We'll see. Oh my god, this is why I try to be really picky about my NetGalley e-arcs. But like these ones, especially Dragonfall, was like a very anticipated release for me. I thought I would really, really love it. I went into it expecting better things, but disappointment reigns supreme. If either of these sound interesting to you, let me know. Like I said, neither one of them I think are bad books or, I don't know, were miserable times. What I did read, they were very much no longer for me, especially The Surviving Sky. I'm like, I can see a lot of people, science fantasy or science fiction people, loving this. Just ain't gonna be me, unfortunately. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined and haven't already. And of course, you can just leave an emoji if you want to say hello. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.